Well, first of the year, still pretty new upon us. And some people used to make New Year's resolutions. I don't think people make New Year's resolutions anymore, do they? Does anyone still? Did anyone hear? It used to be a big topic. It used to be a really big topic. People would talk about it. Turning over a new leaf, starting over, making changes used to be a big deal. And you know the things that people used to talk about doing. What was it? They would lose weight, exercise more, save money, right? Stop procrastinating, quit smoking. Those are some of the big ones. There were others. And a New Year's resolution is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. And there's always huge exhilaration right in the beginning when you start. You're all fired up, and you're going to make it a reality. There's going to be change. But a year is a long time. And new patterns are hard to establish. It doesn't take long for that resolve to give way. Little exceptions creep in. And those exceptions begin to be common and more often. And pretty soon, all too soon, the old patterns have returned. And when we realize that the resolution has crashed and burned, and we might as well admit that it's done and over, there's this feeling of self-defeat, of self-deprecation, to say nothing of the ribbing you get from people around you who love you, family and friends. Hey, whatever happened to that New Year's resolution of yours, right? And it makes it really hard to gear up again the following year. No, really, this year I'm going to become fluent in Spanish. People go, oh, sí, oh. Well, that could be one reason why we don't make them anymore. But, as I was thinking about resolutions, New Year's resolutions, and about change in general, and about the things that resolutions are actually based on, they almost always are about the aspects of us that aren't the heart of the matter, aren't they? You know what I mean? We're always willing to pick at the trivial things about ourselves, even if they're hard, but the trivial things about ourselves, without considering the core of who we are and what's happening in our hearts and minds. So, we take issues on the periphery of who we are. We set about tinkering with the things about us, thinking we can change ourselves from the outside in. External things we can change. And we make superficial changes in ourselves. But in order to make the big changes in ourselves, we need to change the core of us, the heart from deep within. And if that sounds frightening, it is. So I think on this new year, on this beginning of 2016, I'm going to make a bold statement in light of the state of our country, our church, the world, in light of the message that I hear speaking pretty loudly from Isaiah and from Luke. If I could write a New Year's resolution for America, and maybe beyond, it would be this. This year, I will believe that I am loved. Does that surprise you? Is that what you were expecting? Probably not. This year, I will believe that I am completely loved. Now, there are undoubtedly some of us here who don't need this resolution, maybe one or two. Maybe a couple more than that, but I doubt it. Most human beings have a lifelong struggle feeling loved, feeling valuable, feeling good enough. And I truly believe that many, if not most of us, walk around with a big empty space somewhere inside. Think so too? Maybe it's been there all of our lives, or maybe just a little while. Maybe that empty space has the shape of a lost dream or a lost person. Maybe lost innocence or lost years. That empty space could be the color of confusion or bitterness, sorrow or regret. Now, growing up in a loving home is a tremendous help for avoiding this emptiness. And a few of us grew up in homes with just the perfect blend of grace and justice. Too much, either way, is a problem. Too much justice is overly harsh and makes you, first of all, self-critical, but worse than that, critical of others. And too much grace sounds good, but it's overly lenient and makes us feel self-important and disrespectful of others. Very few of us parents, even when we try really hard, get the recipe just right for each of us children, each of our children. Which is why helping them have a relationship with God is so important. Having God in your life is the best antidote to emptiness. Now, people who don't know God seek all their lives to fill that emptiness with relationships from other people. They seek to get everything they need from other human relationships, from people they know, and of late, from publishing things for the world to see, their needs, their hopes, their emptinesses on social media. Have you noticed that? Reaching out to the world. People need to be heard, appreciated, valued, liked, if not loved. And it's a basic human need. I suspect it is why we try to improve ourselves all the time, so that we like ourselves better, and so that others will like us better. But if we can just stop searching and trying so hard for just a moment, if we could just close our eyes, take a deep breath, and settle into this, it's coming, this eternal and wonderful truth together, could be life-changing. Here it comes. Do you know The one who created everything out of nothing, that God. The one who came and walked on the earth and lived like us, that God. The one who blew over the waters of creation, calmed them, that God. The one who was with you at your baptism, and the one who will be sitting right next to you in just a few moments when we take communion together. That God says this to each of us, to each of you. Listen, I created you. I formed you before anyone else knew you. Do not be afraid. I saved you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. Whatever happens to you, I will be with you. Because I am with you, you will survive, and you will thrive. You are precious to me. Do not fear. I am with you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. This is a love letter from God. We are loved by God. So let us then strive to love others as we are loved. Instead of striving for self-love or obtaining love from other people, how about this one, maybe last New Year's resolution? Write this on a piece of paper, post it on your refrigerator. This year I will believe I am loved. And follow it with that little quote from God. You are my beloved child. I love you. It's got to change your life. Amen.